All right, guys, we are live. Live. Let's see if I can fix this a little bit better. There we go. All right, we got some people joining. Hello. I think that's Omar. Hey, and we're going to be talking about what's up with your name. What's up with your name? Um, Interestingly enough, I'm just gonna start. Whoever joins. But interestingly enough, like me growing up, my name is Tenn-Lai. My maiden name is Tai Pao. What's up with my name? What does that even mean?
You're welcome.
Why are you saying welcome?
Because I saved you.
Why'd you save me?
Come on. Tenn-Lai type house, a mouthful. This Tenn-Lai frame.
Yeah, but it's a wicked name.
It's a mouthful.
It's not a mouthful. It's a wicked name. It's a wicked name. And even we're just talking about like what's up with your name, what's the meaning of your name, like even just getting into like naming your kids and the importance of your name. So I can start. My name, my full name is Tenn-Lai Tanya Taipao, which my husband still likes to incorrectly pronounce.
Tenn-Lai's great.
Hey, welcome. But the meaning of my name, I don't know if many people know, but my name, Tenn-Lai, actually means heavenly flow. Tanya meaning angel, and Tai Pao, my maiden name, means gunshot.
Bow!
I know, that's pow, exactly. I know, very, like when you think of it, contradictory names. But, you know, when you think of your name or you know what your name means, you say, okay, how does that apply to me? And growing up, it was more so, and I think it was Shiraz. So whoever knows Shiraz, he was the one that actually helped me like really put my name together because I'm like
Did he?
gunshot. He did because I'm like gunshot, and I think he said something along the lines of, you know, it's shots from heaven that are flowing through you. Like it was something along those lines. I'm like, that's wicked. Like, what kind of name is Tenn-Lai Taipei? Even in that moment of, you know, having a unique name like that. For those who don't know, it is a Chinese name. So now you know. If you haven't looked at my website yet, which, you know, talks about my background, I am mixed with Chinese. But having a name like that growing up, you know, it's just like, okay, yeah, it's a unique name, whatever. Yeah, Pastor Shiraz. But it moved on to when like my name was defined that way, or just gave me perspective of my name, it made me appreciate my name even more, right? So it's like, okay, I don't know if my parents purposely did that, because I think we found out later on in life what Tenn-Lai meant. But heavenly flow, like, you can't go wrong with that, right? We named our daughter Azariah.
Azariah is a name for Hebrew Abednego.
And means help by God.
Charis means
love, grace, and kindness. So her name means help by God's love, grace, and kindness. That's good. See, this is why it's so important to know what you're naming your children and the definition of your name. Do you know the definition of your name? I know the definition of your name, but do you know the definition of your name?
I do. So depending on where you look at the translation, so I know in Latin, my name means rich, or sorry, Greek, it means rich, but in Latin it means like earth, dark, kind of like more like an earthy type of a vibe. So
I think there's one of them that actually said, hey. I don't know if I don't know what version it said, but I think at some the Latin, I think you said it's dark one, darkness, or dark one. So when I first saw it, I'm like, your name means dark one? What?
I was gonna say something, but I'm not gonna say it. I was like, team light skin, but it's not about complexion or dark.
But you're not light skin. Anyways, moving on.
Rude. But yeah, that's the meaning of my name there. So I'm more.
Do you know what Dean means?
I've never looked up Dean, so yeah, I've never.
Let's see if I can
Look
find out
there.
what this. I'm gonna look up what D means. But even just like our family name, Frame, we can talk about that because we actually
So-
had a discussion about that the other day.
It's funny because so we follow Transformation Church. Shout out to Transformation Nation. And Pastor Mike was talking about God in the sense, in terms of us, how he created the earth and just imagination and seeing things. And there was a term that he had used. It was yetzer, which is going back to the definition of frame. So my last name or our last name.
Our last name.
You're welcome. Where it's talking about, again, the imagining and kind of speaking into being. How's his name? General means
Fight for what he wants, and I guarantee he fights for what he wants.
Jam Z is a fighter, boy. I know that. So we're talking about how we kind of wanted to define
men, Elijah, my God, Yahweh. We thought about it as protector of God's men because God is Yahweh. Good. See, that's the thing, is that when you look up definitions of the names, especially when you put names together, you look at these two names together. What can they mean as combined, right? It's not just this name means this and another name means this. It's putting the names together and declaring that over yourself or your child. But we'll get into that shortly. Sorry, continue what you're saying.
It's all good. No, so yeah, yetzer just simply is coming back to when we looked at the name frame, forming or framing, which is us. It's really just imagining and kind of speaking into what we see and what we're kind of envisioning for our life. So growing up, I always envisioned how my family would be, what my life would look like, what my legacy and the generation and so forth would look like. So even though it may not look like what I wanted to look like now, even though my family may not be the family in terms of maybe how I maybe wanted them to be. Actually, there's nothing wrong with my family or anything at all, but you know when you kind of envision like the perfect family, and no one's perfect.
Yeah.
So this is where when Tenn-Lai we got together, we're watching Transformation. He was talking about that.
But even before that, because I want to get into the conversation before that, where it was actually a Sunday morning. We were getting ready to go to in-person service. We were visiting a church,
okay.
And I had just said to Adrian, I said, you know, your name Frame, like you're so proud of it. Those who know Adrian, he's always about, I'm a frame, like, and everybody calls him Frame or Framesy, right? That's what if you intimately know Adrian, he's known as Frame or Framesy, and he's proud of that name. And I asked him, I'm like, why are you so proud of your name? Like, it's not like, your entire family,
we're known for anything specific.
Either known for anything
famous
specific.
for...
Like, why are you so proud of it? And first he was just like, I'm not sure. But as we kind of...
No, I said because I'm a frame.
But we're talking about why.
Yeah.
Why you're a frame. Like,
it's just a joke, babe. Go ahead.
Anyways, so I was like, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so he said he doesn't know why, but as we kind of dug deeper, it was, it's reimagining. Hi Tamika, I know you've made it, girl. You've made it. She was complaining about how I never get there on time, but you're here, girl. So it's just getting to, my name is Frame, and I am going to represent what frame means. Like, it starts with us.
Yeah.
It starts with us to say, what is the name of Frame going to mean, right? And so that was a conversation that we had in the morning. And it's funny because I was thinking it, but I asked him the question because I really wanted him to think about it. And the fact that he just said exactly what was on my mind, I'm like, okay, this is God, it's aligned. And then going on into service later that day, and it's just ironic. Like, no, it's not ironic. It's God. It's God. That Pastor Michael Todd was talking about a frame, and the meaning of frame in, I think it was Hebrew, is yetzer, and yetzer means imagination. And going back to our conversation of saying, we are imagining what we want our frame name to mean, and it starts with us. It starts with us. We're putting that, and those who follow Transformation Church will know and understand what we're talking about here, where it's saying this is your imagination. What you thought of is your imagination, but it becomes a vision when you write it out. When Habakkuk 2 verse 2, write the vision and make it plain.
Just want to say that, yeah.
right?
Really
And as I'm going to plug this in there, if you haven't gone out and got my planner, go and get it, because it actually has that scripture on the back of the planner. Those who may have purchased it as soon as it came out, you wouldn't have gotten it, but it was revised with that scripture on the back. Write the vision and make it plain. And that's just to emphasize using the planner. You write your visions down and plan it out. Anyways, plug is done. So we're imagining what we want the frame last name to be and what future generations are going to look like. That's our vision, right? Writing it out is making it plain.
And baby, you always say something specific. I know we'll probably get into the definition of Aiden shortly here, but you always say that it's so important to understand the naming of why you're giving someone a name or calling a specific name. You want to tell them about that?
Let's talk about Aiden first, and then we'll...
Yeah, tell them.
Yeah. You want to go? Or you want me to talk about Aiden?
Oh, no matter. Yeah. So,
like, how did we come up with the name Aiden first?
All right. So Aiden, for those of you guys who don't know, it's spelled uniquely Adenn, which your boy Adrian is AD.
And Tenn, for my name Tenn-Lai, Tenn,
ENN.
So we put our names together to create Aiden, right?
But going back to Tenn-Lai's point now, we just didn't want to create a name just because, again, we wanted a cool name, because Aiden is pretty cool how it's spelled. I agree. We wanted to make sure, again, that there was meaning behind his name and purpose behind his name. So Aiden means attractive and handsome one.
Yes.
And we did not miss the mark. The boy is attractive and he's handsome.
Yes, he is.
It's coming. And then Antoine is his middle name now, and that means highly praiseworthy / priceless, right? And I don't do justice in terms of how you break down the praiseworthy piece, Ted. Okay. So maybe you want to talk about that.
Yeah.
So I more go with the priceless, because I think he's priceless. But you do a really good job with explaining the praiseworthy.
So when it comes to his name, when we talk about, first of all, like Adrian was mentioning earlier, the importance of understanding the meaning of the person's name, because every time you say that person's name, their meaning is what you're declaring over their life. So every time we say Aiden, we're saying attractive, right? Every time we say Antoine, we're saying highly praiseworthy, priceless. So you're declaring that over their life every time you speak their name. So when we combine the two names, how I envision it, or how I've put it together, is people will be attracted to Aiden, not just physically, but through his spirit.
Yeah.
They will be attracted to him. You know, when people say, I don't know what it is about you, but there's something about you. There's something about you. I like your spirit, right? People are going to be attracted to him. And through them being attracted to him, it's not him as the individual that they're attracted to, but it's God. And through that, God gets all the praise. Highly praiseworthy. God gets all the praise. So every time you talk to Aiden, every time you have an encounter with Aiden, every time you're in Aiden's presence, you're in the presence of God, and Aiden is going to be able to speak and say things and do things that is going to end up giving God all the glory through his interaction with you. So that's just how we came up with the whole name Aiden, and what it means and what we're declaring over his life. And obviously frame, like those who know the journey that we've had with Aiden has been brave. Like, did we get to the definition of frame yet in terms of that?
We didn't.
Sorry.
Yeah, it means brave and vigorous, and kind of going through Aiden's journey in terms of his health. Like, he's been through so much, and to see him come out on the other side winning. You know, when the doctor said that, he had gallstones, when the doctor said that, he had the, I always pronounce this wrong, calcification. I always pronounce it wrong. That's now gone. When they thought that he had a heart murmur, that's gone. And it's just like there's this victory, and there's this presence in terms of never quitting. There's just like this win to him, right? So really proud again to see that he's really living up to his name. Kind of just walking the purpose of his name, which is what we call him, right? So
we actually never looked up the definition of frame, like frame to us was just
the last name,
not just the last name, but a frame. Like, you're within the frame of things, you're in the foundation of things. That's just the way that I've always looked at the name frame. But when we looked it up, I don't remember what the origin of this definition was.
It was Irish. Yeah.
So in the Irish definition of frame is brave and vigorous, and without even knowing that, and Adrian always saying, like, I'm a frame, Aiden's a frame, like Aiden's a frame, Aiden's a frame. So every time like he was in the
Resilient.
hospital.
Yes, that's what I was looking for. Thank you, Shade. That's the word I was looking for.
Every time he was in the hospital or any time that some obstacle came up, Adrian was always saying, he's a frame, not knowing that we're actually declaring that the reason why he is brave, the reason why he's not crying, the reason why he's not worried, the reason why every time he entered into a doctor's office, he was happy, he was joyful, he wasn't crying other than when he's taking off a cast or something. But he was always in a good mood. It's funny because our doctor for Aiden's foot, the doctor and the nurse, every time they came in, they always called him the businessman. Hey, Mr. Businessman, Mr. Businessman. That's exactly how they used to say it. Because Aiden used to lay down with his hands on his chest like this, just looking at them, not scared. He's like, come on, let's get this over and done with.
Yeah.
That's his facial expression. So, but I'm interested. I know a couple of you guys have already mentioned here, like the meaning of names. And if you have any questions, you can drop some questions for us as well. But the meaning of, do you guys know the meaning of it? You don't have to tell us, but do all of you guys that are on here know the meaning of your names? If you do, just drop a heart or a thumbs up. I want to know if you know the meaning. If you don't, go out and actually look for it. Isaac is Hebrew, laughter. Rejoiced, Caleb, Hebrew, devotion to God. Wholehearted, Emmanuel, Hebrew, God is with us. See, look at that. And every time you say these names, you're declaring these things. You're declaring God is with us. You're declaring devotion to God. Nice. You're declaring laughter. Like you're rejoiced. You're declaring these things over him every time you say his name, right? It's, hey, Jody. It's so important. Zanaya's African princess, beautiful. Look at that. Jeez. Beautiful. It's important to know what your name means.
Yeah.
And it's important to know what your child name means. I know like the exact definition of Tanya is fairy queen. I don't believe in no fairy queen. So you reverse that and say angel, right? It's not that you're changing it. Yeah. You're not completely changing it. You're just using it in a different perspective. You're giving
repositioning,
a different,
with the name, yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Jennifer means fair lady. Yeah. See, it's good. Look, if you guys don't know the meaning of your name, go look it up.
Yeah.
Go look it up. It's important to know what every time somebody says your name, what they're calling over you. But that's all I had to say. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I don't see any questions going on. Yeah, I didn't see anything here. Let me scroll through and see if I missed anything.
Sorry, what does Xander mean again? Protector of men.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, I think that's it. My middle name, Louise, means renowned warrior. Nice. Shade's queen. Yeah, man.
Okay, Queen Shade. Okay.
You're just saying it double. You're saying queen right now. Queen Shade, you're saying queen.
Oh, wow. Everything is double. Anyways,
He's declaring double over your life, girl. Shade, didn't you used to sing that song too?
See? Look at that. She be singing double all over her life. Look at that.
Oh gosh. Anyways, it was nice talking to you guys. Thanks for Tamika is sweet. However, I grew up thinking it meant twin. Well, Tamika, we're a twin. You and I and you. Sorry. Anyways, guys, like I said, it was nice talking to you. Thank you for tuning in and leave some comments. After this is reposted, leave some comments too. If you didn't know the meaning of your name before, share. I want to know exactly what it is. Your children's name, if you have children, a name that you're maybe planning to name your children, if you're okay with sharing that and definition of it and why you're choosing that. And share this video with people, because I think it's so important that people know the definition of their names and why, and like even us sharing our story with how we came up with it. So share. Love you guys.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.